Okay, guys, Steve. So here we go. Looking at, I spent a lot of time last night thinking about how are we able to progress and grow. And one of the things that I need to know, understand none of this. You guys are doing great. This is the best group of guys I've ever worked with, and we want to expand this group. By the way, you got friends who are experienced salespeople, outbound cold callers, whatever. Bring them on board. You get a percentage of whatever they close. Great. We are actively going to start looking for people whose life or former life is call center type related to increase the volume. We have too many leads for the number of people we have right now. And I've been so focused on when you get on the phone with someone, put it in the form, which is certainly an important part of the model, that I need to start tracking. I give out these names and who's calling them and when. And you can use batch leads, you can use your own phone number, I don't care. But we're going to start distributing things on Google Sheets with columns for who called, last time tried, notes, results. So Connor called on February 22nd, didn't reach anybody. Connor called on February 23rd, reached. This is the result. So before we even get to the filling out of the actual activity form, we just know. And I'm probably going to start giving out blocks of data rather than, hey, everybody, here's a list. I'm going to say, Connor, here's your list. Mayor, here's your list. That way you have a discrete number of things to call on. And you can do other stuff too, do it however you want. But I give you 100. When you're done with 100, ask me for more. That way we know we have, I can know how many I'm having not get called. Because right now that's one thing I can't tell. So the spreadsheet's going to look something like, and I'm going to literally make one live right now. Um, and so we're going to have like all the deal info, prop, address, city, state, zip, owner, phone, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be called by, date called, answer result. Boom. So every single call you make, every single outreach you make, you're answering these 4 points. And you're filling in more information on the questions as well. If you actually get someone, then you switch to the actual form. But this is just a quick way. Of course, it's your list, so it's all going to be called by Connor or whoever. The whole list is you. What you're looking at is you. It's been assigned to you. And by tomorrow or Friday, I'll have this all broken out in some random way. You guys have a preference? Let me know. But date called, answer result, answer yes, no, I guess would be the better way to say it. Notes. So boom, date called, answer, notes. And something like that. So, okay. And here's the thing, guys. If you don't get them, keep trying them. There's 2 sales tactics that work. One that I hate. They don't answer, call them right back. No more than 3 tries back to back. Even 2 personally bugs me, but do it. Because someone sees the same call come in twice, they figure it couldn't have been a mistake. Always, I believe, leaving a voicemail, like I mentioned yesterday. Text message, maybe. If you make a text message, don't make it sound salesy because we're not supposed to sell over the text message. You can either leave a, hi, it's Joe. You asked me to give you a call. Please call back. They don't know why they're calling, so they must have asked someone to call them back. Or 2, hey, it's Connor. I wanted to buy your house. Could you give me a call back? Something like that. And that's it. So every call you make, we then will know that this portion of the list that we gave Connor, how's he proceeding on it? Where is he at? Um, So, boom, this is the date called, this is the last result, and this is how many times you tried. One, oh no, we called again. Two, three, four. So, okay, so you tried 4 times. And what you do is the first couple call attempts. Now, calling right back, that's one attempt, like that one piece of time. You try it that evening, that's a second attempt. You try it the next morning or in 2 days, that's a third attempt. Like if they're back to back calls, they're one attempt. But this will just help us understand what you're proceeding through, how you're proceeding through them, and what you're doing within that. Oh, hey Glenn.
Hey,
Um, so we're gonna start giving out those numbers, and Glenn, you got to let me know when you're ready because I know you got some other stuff going on. So when you're ready for these calls, let me know. The other
okay.
thing we're going to do, and I'm going to email you all on this when I do it, is we have a software called Forewarn, and I'm going to show you how to log into Forewarn. That's not what I wanted. So Forewarn is a software we get through the Pennsylvania board, and this is the login. I'll give you that. That's the password. It then asks for you to SMS a code, which that SMS code, because of where it goes, comes in as an email, and I'm going to forward that email to everybody. So if you're the one, I'm sorry, guys, I have to grab this. It's a contractor at a building. Sorry, guys, I had a contractor at a job site and he had a question, and he's a pretty decent guy, so I know when he calls, he's not calling just for fun. Anyway, so basically, so that's how we're going to handle calls, and I'll get this done over the next day or so. But we need to know who's calling what and what the call rate's been, because as I mentioned earlier on the call, if no one's getting to them or people aren't getting to as many as I'm giving, I need to increase whether I'm paying a call center or whatever. Now, on the paying call center question, Will brought this up to me, as did a couple other people. If you guys want to contribute to hiring a call center and you don't want to do the front end as much, let's talk about that, because I don't mind. I don't want to go and spend $2,000 a month. I have a great call center. It will cost us $2,000 a month to be full time. I don't want to spend $2,000 a month myself out of my own pocket. That's kind of, I would rather give up 20, 30, 40% to you guys than write that check every month and hope for the best. But if you guys are like, hey, we all have jobs and we just would rather contribute $500 a month and still get the rest of the percentage, okay, great. Most guys, if we've covered the expenses and whatever, you know what I mean? I'm open to that. Let's have that conversation. Oh my gosh, here. I'm not answering this call. So all the calls come in during this 11:30 time slot. What is it? Oh, Steve's live. Let's go do this. All right, so Forewarn. So what happens with Forewarn is this code comes in to you by email,
You good?
Comes in as a text to me, becomes an email by the time it gets to you, and you enter 41 code 894,363. Now what's request new code? I must have waited too long. $607,222. Now, you can search by phone number, but usually you're searching by name. And I usually search, okay, so you have, and let me just kind of, I'll show you this and then I'll back up. So we've searched for Stephen Franco, and now you got to pick which one it is. And yes, I'm 55, I can't freaking believe it. And here are phone records. Boom. Now I got a lot of different Stephen Francos because I didn't provide the address. Now within batch leads or any of your sources, you'll see the tax address. You'll see where the tax bills go to. All right, batch is being a bitch. Never mind. Let me go over here. Pull up this particular address. You look at the tax information. Tax mailing address. Boom. Owner. So put in Toomer of Columbus, Ohio. Jewel Toomer, Columbus, Ohio. So we go back to Forewarn. And we're putting in now we search. Okay. I'm not sure how Jewel Harris and Jewel Toomer might be related. Somehow they both came up together. Now we go back to batch. And we look again at Southampton Road. All right. Folks, we have a winner. Southampton Road, Columbus, Ohio. This is the Jewel Toomer we want. Here's all the phone numbers known to Jewel. Now, kind of sort of ignore the last scene, because if I'd shown you my last scene, it didn't see my 0124 number for probably 6 months. This is 0124. So I don't know where it gets its last scene data. But the point is now here's a list of names, a list of numbers for Toomer, Jewel Toomer. We can start dialing those numbers. Now, if you'll notice, batch leads already gave us some numbers for this particular person. Batch leads already showed us some numbers. So I definitely would use these first. But that's how Forewarn can give us data. Now, the other thing Forewarn can give us of, let's say, minimal value in this particular case, but it's still there. Sometimes it'll give us backgrounds. Not often usable, not often needed for us, but if you were going to meet someone and you felt any sort of way, run their background. Some states don't allow that kind of access. So that's why some states won't give it to you. I apparently have a lot of records. This is the funniest one myself because I have a warrant out for my arrest right now. The warrant is spelling my name wrong and giving the wrong address. It's about a total bullshit claim by a local municipality person who doesn't like me. And I pretty much have decided that, fuck it, I'm just going to ignore it. because we've been there. He's pulled this before. We've gone to court. I won. He's trying it again. And it's all, in this case, because my wife's the property manager. He's afraid of my wife. Tenant left some garbage out next to the house. We cleaned up the garbage. Tenant left more garbage. He caught us the second time and decided to come after me. Not the company, not my wife, me. But he screwed up and misspelled the name and put the address wrong. So we know it's out there, but we're not doing shit about it. But the point is, oh, wow. He came after me a lot of times, I guess. Anyway, but the point is, you now know that I've got a lot of infractions of bullshit. So forewarn will also tell you that. Not terribly useful. The other thing you do when you're having trouble finding someone, by the way, this is the flood zone link here. The other thing you do when you're having trouble finding someone is any version of you have their address. And you're going to put in, and you can do by name too. But like, if you were looking for Jewel Toomer and you couldn't find Jewel Toomer, you could put in okay, so you can sometimes use this to find the person in the building. Like, for example, if the owner was ABC Enterprises LLC and the address was some place, apartment 1, Brooklyn, New York. Okay. A lot of times smaller LLCs will use their home address as the business address. So you'll look up, give me a phone number for abcllc.com, and you won't find it. That's because the address is not a company address. Like, very few of my companies have a phone number. They just don't. We're not an operation of that size. And until 5 years ago or so, it was one of my apartment addresses was my business address. So if you wanted to find me, you could run my name. You could run that address, and there'd be 6 apartments in that building. And so now, okay, that address, 148 Barney Street, there are 6 apartments. I now have 6 humans that I can pull phone numbers for and say, hey, and call them and say, hey, listen, I'm looking for the owner of this building. Can you help me? Oh, I'm the owner. Or, no, but my landlord might know. Here's my landlord's phone number. Or, oh, no, that's Billy. He's down in 1A. So what I'm saying is a tool like White Pages or Anyhoo or one of those, if you're trying to resolve an LLC to a person or something, you're having trouble, that tool will tell you, hey, that address is actually a multi-unit apartment building, and here's a list of people who live there, and then you can skip trace the people and you can play that game. That's another way to go. If you have a straight-up LLC question, there are apps we can get, and I have not paid for them yet, but there are apps we can get that will skip trace LLCs. But I'm waiting for you guys to bring the demand before I pay for the supply. So really what I wanted to cover today, this is kind of it. And if anybody has any questions, Alex, I see you're there, but not connected again. I'm not sure if you have a connection problem.
Could be.
But dive in if you got any questions, obviously. And Alex, if you want to watch it, it also shows up, guys, before I forget, we are right now live on YouTube. So you can bookmark the YouTube page, which, by the way, is also always off of reihomepage.com. Go under resources, under JV team, videos and tools, live YouTube. And terrifyingly enough, here we are. This is live. Okay. So if you can't reach us on StreamYard, you can reach us here. But every link you need is here under JV Team. Forms and such, seller buyer. Docs and scripts. Skip trace and tools. Oops. Chat GPTs. Now here, and then find your flood zone, resources, lending, da da da. Now Chat GPTs, we have our analyzer, and we now have our brand new team helper GPT, which literally is what you ask a question of. If you can't reach me, you say, I have a seller, what on phone, what do I do? And it will go through my information that I've given it and give you some instant help. Okay, so this is kind of eventually going to be huge. Because you don't need Ryan, or you get Ryan or I live, feel free to. Okay, but if you can't, or you just need a little, oh crap, I forgot where this is. What is link to seller form? I have to what questions do we ask, or what is the link to the questions? Sheet. Google. And let me know what its answers are, because its answers may not be accurate. That last one should have given us a link. Like, here we go, seller's question sheet. Boom. You forgot what questions to ask? This GPT will help you. So keep this GPT linked, bookmarked, whatever. Know where to find it. Because the helper GPT will walk you through everything. Let me know if there are answers it gives that don't get you where you want to go, because it's brand new. Like when I asked it, where's the seller form? It should have given a link. So there's obviously some tweaking to be done. But the point is, this is an instant resource to get you started, to get you pointed in the right direction. Oh, my ear. Yay! Somebody's here. All right, buddy. So just went over a whole bunch of different tools. And just wanted to remind everybody that all of the tools, if you go to reihomepage.com, under resources, JVT, pretty much all your tools are here. And the newest one we just rolled out is the Team Helper GPT.
Okay.
You will ask, what do I do next? Okay. We're trying to streamline you guys not getting stuck, I guess, for lack of a better term. I don't really, and you feel free to, don't feel like you shouldn't, but hey, I can't reach Steve. I don't feel like calling Steve. I can't reach Ryan. Don't feel like calling Ryan. You come here and many of the questions are answered. So you say, I have a possible lender. What do I do? Of course, you're not going to have a possible lender. I should have said possible borrower. Here is, and it actually gave, and this is where you guys have to tell me, it gave the wrong form. But there's two types of borrowers. There's DSCR and there's unsecured. Now, magically, this isn't the only way to get the information. You come to resources. Forms and such. And lending is going to get moved up there. Investor lending, DSCR, unsecured 0%. Is it backed by property, backed by credit? So This is a huge resource. That's why it's called resources. reihomepage.com. Bookmark this. Remember that. Also, the other thing you'll bookmark, because it will improve. The more you tell me where it didn't give you the answer you needed, the more I can fix it. Team Helper GPT. And this is our GPT Analyzer. Now, this is the other important tool we have. So after your process is this, you're going to go and you're going to take your new call list and you're going to make, so the call list will start this column over. We'll already have all your phone numbers and all your data we're giving you. And this is your personal Google Sheet. Your numbers here, done. And you're going to answer these questions. Called by, date called, what happened on that call, how many times have you tried him total, and what notes do you have? And when you get somebody on the phone, that's when you switch to the seller form. And you fill that out. But on the seller form, what you're doing is you're actually taking your notes when you're on the call with them. And you're answering them in I like Google Docs. So literally, I'm going to have a Google Docs open for I'm going to have a Google Docs open with all my questions.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I'm going to have Google Docs with all my questions. And if you're missing what the questions are, magically they are here. Boom. Docs and scripts, questions. Questions, yoo-hoo, there they are. So you can like cut and paste this, or do you do handy dandy Google Doc? And as you're going through the conversation with the seller, and you're letting the conversation go in what order, here's some questions you got to ask. Okay, great. Fill that in. You then save this Google Doc. You name it, property name, whatever. Fine. And then you take the share. Always just do anyone with a link, viewer. It avoids that whole asking permission crap. And you paste that into notes. Well, you then will take that information, put it in the seller form, submit that. This Google Doc goes to Ryan and Steve. And it should include all of the information you're putting in the seller form. It should include all these questions and all the research you've done. Because you're going to do current mortgage, repair estimate. You're going to answer whatever you can, and you're going to look it up on the property. You're going to look up Zillow link, Google Maps, everything. You put all the links here, put all the links into Google Docs. The whole point is that you're submitting the form to us through the system, and you're submitting it directly to us. That way it isn't the system loses it, email loses it, we know it's there. You're then going to take the result. So all of these questions, and you could just as well go here. And make yourself a template like this. Just as well do that. You're then going to download this filled out form. So step one, you've emailed this to me and Ryan with all, you filled in all the answers. Step that you won't know all of them. Step two, you've emailed it to me and Ryan, along with any pictures or other stuff you have. Step three, you've submitted the form, along with any pictures or other stuff you have. Step four, you've downloaded the Microsoft Word document. And then you've gone not to your helper GPT. The helper GPT is what do I do? The analyzer GPT, which the helper GPT should help you find. And you say, analyze this property deal. And you take the resulting result of this and paste it on the end of this Google Doc and include it in the form if you haven't already submitted it. You are not telling the seller what you found yet. You're talking over with us. So then once you send this in, you reach out to us, hey guys, I sent a new deal. When can we talk? Boom. And you give us a little snippet in the text message of where to find it and what we're talking about in the property is and the basics. And the reason I ask you to give the little snippet in the text message is because a lot of times I can triage things. If you literally, even if you just cut and pasted this in the text message, or I can triage or you give me a verdict. Because if you're like, hey, ARV is 325, seller wants 300, places a rec, pretty much tell you it's not a wholesale deal. Might be a listing, isn't a wholesale deal. But that is how you do it. So you're going to answer the questions, send this to me, run this information through the helper, paste that answer back here, fill out the form, submit the form, email this, and then reach out and say, hey guys, boom, this is what it is. All right, so any questions?
Yeah.
I don't want to dump too many on here because I know that we've done a lot of different things. So what we've covered here is we've covered Forewarn, we've covered the Helper GPT, we've covered REI homepage, resources section. This one's all about you guys. Okay. We have the Analyzer GPT. We have the seller form. We have Forewarn for skip tracing. We have anywho.com. Wherever that one went, that's another link somewhere on here. And by the way, even flood zone is a resource. Under resources, when I ask what is a flood zone, find your flood zone. Woohoo! Cool. So it's all here. REI homepage resources, or the Helper GPT, or call us. And we've also covered how we're going to be distributing phone numbers. Please keep calling, but I need a way of knowing who's calling what. So I'm going to start assigning numbers. Any questions?
I just need the.
All right. I guess we'll wrap up. Reach out if you find anything, but let's find some deals, guys. Thanks.
Okay. Will do.